Oh look, water flowing down the street. That is water from my neighbor's pool. Hi, welcome to Walking Buddy, episode 4. So, I'm doing something I'm not real fond of, and that's walking through my development. It's okay. I'd rather be at the park, but right now I don't have time to get to the park. However, I had kind of a stressful day, and I kind of needed to go for a walk. Yeah, walking through my development's cool, but what's not so cool was the fact that I'm holding this camera up like this, and I'm sure people are thinking I'm a little crazy. But like I said, it was kind of a stressful day, and I think one of the great things to do when you're stressed is to go for a walk. Stress is a real mother, isn't it? I know we all deal with stresses in our lives. Some certainly have it worse than others. I'm very lucky in a lot of ways. I've got good health, got a good family. Things are generally pretty good. But as we all know, did I already say that? As we all know, everybody knows some days your nerves get shot over things, and I had one of those kind of days. So I'm walking it off. Wanted to thank everybody for tuning into the episode so far. Gotten a lot of good feedback. The last one, I was talking about endorphins and stuff like that, and it was a fun one, I think. I was talking in there about hating Eminem, and I saw the Walking Rob did a video where he was kind of praising Eminem and how that was an influence on him with his own music, and that's cool. Obviously what floats one person's boat doesn't. Ew, am I going to use that? Float a boat? I hate that saying. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, what one person likes, another one might not necessarily like. One thing, though, that I think everything should agree on, what everybody should agree on, though, in the music world, is the fact that the Beatles were awesome. Now, I know some people don't feel this way. And what bothers me is when people say the Beatles suck. How can anyone possibly say that the Beatles suck? It's one thing if you don't like the Beatles. I fully get that. Okay, it's one thing if you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody. How can you just come out with a blanket statement that somebody sucks? Because that's the thing. If somebody's music or their movies or their art or anything appeals to certain people, then it doesn't suck, now does it? I remember years ago I read an interview with Tom Petty, and I'm probably going to screw up his quote in there, but basically he was saying that there's no such thing as a bad song. Now, there might be songs that he doesn't like, some songs that he might even hate. He was saying this, I'm not just theorizing about Tom Petty. But the thing is, if somebody's written a song, performed a song, and even if it just entertains the person who did it themselves, then it's a good song, right? Because it served its purpose, it entertained. Chances are it's going to entertain more than just that one person. So therefore, you can't say it's really bad. It might not be for you, but it's not really bad. And like I said, I've heard some people say that about the Beatles lately, and I think a lot of people just get sick of hearing the same artist over and over again. I do that sometimes. I rave quite a bit on my Facebook page about Nickelback and how much Nickelback sucks. Now, all the things I said a moment ago about how nothing really sucks, that doesn't quite apply to Nickelback, because Nickelback does suck. So I'll just put that out there. Everything else, no such thing as a bad song, no such thing as a bad artist, except for Nickelback. And I'm not even sure I entirely mean that. I gotta be honest with you. As much as I bash Nickelback, I liked them when they first came out. I even saw them in concert. I saw them in Wilmington, Delaware. I think it was when they were really starting to fly high in terms of their popularity. Thing is, I don't know. I've read things where they say that when they saw they weren't selling records or CDs or whatever you want to call them, they decided to they studied all these hit songs and did this great big study on them. Nickelback did, and they determined what they needed to write a hit song. And I suppose that's admirable, but to me, a lot of their stuff, it does seem like it follows a formula, and it seems like they are just, I don't know, they don't have the passion there. And I think that's what floats my boat. Going back to the boat floating again, about musicians or artists, the things that are most passionate are the things that knock me out. I know a lot of people, I think most people seem to like Bon Jovi. But I've heard some people get on them for their lyrics. And, maybe some of the songs don't have the greatest lyrics in the world. But one thing I've always liked about John Bon Jovi in particular is John Bon Jovi is a passionate singer. Right? You look at that song Bed of Roses. Now that's got some almost Nickelback-esque lyrics in it. I'm going to lay you down on a bed of roses. Tonight I sleep on a bed of nails. With an ironclad fist, I wake up and French kiss the morning. That's a line in there. And say it was Nickelback, I would think that would suck. But John Bon Jovi sings that with such passion. It seems like he's really feeling it. So that John is going to French kiss that morning. He's feeling it, man. He is feeling it. All right, so I talked about that a little more than I thought I was going to. Wonder how the camera angle's looking there. I had a comment actually from Michael Laron. He's got his own great podcast now. You want to check out his website. I'll put a link there for you if you don't already have it. And he was asking about this, my necklace. I don't know how well you can see it. Boy, that's going to be a great shot later. Good thing I'm not wearing a low-cut top and you can see my boobs. But my necklace is a puzzle piece, and it has the name Lisa on it. Now, Lisa, I'm sure a lot of you know, is my wonderful girlfriend. She's a writer who goes by L.M. Stull. Check her out, Amazon.com and other fine places where you can buy books. She, not long after we first started dating, was just amazing. Well, she's always amazing. But she said that she felt that she'd always been happy, but when we got together, she was happier than she'd ever been before. And that I was sort of like this missing puzzle piece in her life that she didn't even know was missing. And to me, that just made me feel amazing when I heard that. And she, as if that weren't enough, she went and had a necklace special ordered. Now, first she got one that was just like mine, just like that. There was a puzzle piece that said Buddy on it. And again, that knocked me out. Not long after that, she gave me this one, the other piece of the puzzle. And what's really neat, too, is that they actually fit together. You put the necklace pieces together, and they fit together, just like we do. So we fit together so perfectly. I love you, Lisa. So, I already talked about stress. And I hear a car coming. I don't want to get run over, so I'm going to walk over here. Hello, car. Almost at the half-mile mark. That's pretty darn good. So yeah, Michael, there's your answer on the puzzle piece. It was cool. Michael said that, I guess it was my little trademark, the necklace. I think he said that in my long hair. And I think it's funny, some of the comments I've got on the videos about my hair. The Walking Rob said it looked like I was Jesus Christ, the way my hair was flowing in the one video. And, I gotta say, I don't get compared to him a lot. So, thanks, Rob. So I also wanted to talk about, that car reminded me that I wanted to talk about idiot drivers. Don't you just hate idiot drivers? You know what really annoys me? And I imagine it happens everywhere, but I see it all the time around here, is when there are cars pulled up into fire lanes at shopping centers. Just because people need to run into the store, or since there's a red box every quarter mile in this area, people are pulled up to the curb there. We are spinning around now. And they don't care. I mean, it says like painted there blatantly, fire lane, do not park. And it drives me a little crazy. What drives me crazy is there can be a bazillion parking spots right there, just an aisle or so away. Some people are so damn lazy, they got to do that. People are idiots. I could spend like a whole video talking about idiotic drivers, but I won't do that this time. Something that I mentioned, Michael Laron. Michael just told me in a message that his latest podcast was, Michael's a writer. He's a fiction writer. You should check out his stuff, Michael Laron. He said in his podcast, he was talking about different jobs that he's held and how that has affected him as a person and as a writer. And I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to, Michael, I swear. But I was asking for ideas for my show, and he suggested that. He was curious to see maybe in some of these walkcasts. I think that's what we're all going to be calling them now. Look for that hashtag, walkcast. Like how people's different jobs shape them as a writer, as a fiction writer. For me, initially I was going to say that my jobs have not shaped me as a fiction writer. That they don't really pop into my fiction a lot. But the more I thought about it, I thought that that's not true. Now, despite the fact that I do this and 2 other shows on YouTube, which would be Buddy's Writing Show and Sunday Night Fiction Club, if you're not familiar with those. Despite that I do those and this, I'm really a private person, so I'm not going to say where I worked. I know some of you know, but we're going to keep that private. But I'll say that I've had pretty average, perhaps even mediocre jobs in my life where, generally not that exciting, where they're going to pop into a book that I'm doing right now about a teenage Amish vampire, or my next series about a private eye who's investigating there's a serial killer going around killing clowns. I don't think any of my jobs would really pertain too much to those things. However, I think that most people who write, and like most people in life, we are around so many different people. In my jobs, and I'm sure in your jobs and just in your general life, you come across people of all different races, religions, sexual interests, all different kinds of things. And I know that makes its way into my writing, which is fun. I have based, I forgot about this till right this second, someone in my current job, actually someone I haven't worked with in quite some while, but he actually makes it into one of the books in the Teenage Amish Vampire series. Now, I'll be honest and say that this was not someone I was particularly fond of, and this character, definitely not the most lovable character in the world. And if, something bad happens to this character in the book, in other words, if something bad does happen to this character in the book, it's not that I want something bad to happen to that real person. Well, I don't want anything too bad to happen to that real person, but let's just say that this person inspired a character in the book. So I guess in terms of things like that, yes, there are inspirations that come from work. Now for me though, the stuff that I write is primarily, at least at this point, pretty funny, or at least I hope it's funny. They're definitely humorous novels, humorous works of fiction. I'm doing some short stories too. And as far as where my sense of humor comes from, I'd say maybe a little bit of that is from my family growing up. I've got a pretty funny family. My dad was a pretty funny guy. My mom, a little bit. But for me, I was very much influenced in my sense of humor by people that were like comic icons as I was growing up. And for me in particular, even though I don't think I'm that much like him, like with the jokes that I make and things like that, Steve Martin. Steve Martin was a really, really funny stand-up comedian. Still a very funny guy and fantastic as an actor. He's gotten away from the stand-up a long time ago. But I had all of his albums that he put out, his stand-up comedy albums. And I would literally stand there in front of the mirror and like do the routine, along with the album as I listened to it. And that was the thing that, like I said, it was a little more than routinely. I had those things memorized inside and out. Stuff like that. And I used to actually, like before my family had a VCR, I would sit there with a little cassette. Yes, a cassette, ladies and gentlemen. Player. And I would record like TV episodes of things like Saturday Night Live and different like stand-up comics that I would see on The Tonight Show. And I loved all those Saturday Night Live guys in particular, like Chevy Chase. I think you can definitely... I can see where some of my sense of humor comes from, like Chevy Chase and some of his movies, probably like Fletch in particular. I quote that movie all the time. So I'd say for like comic influences, you've got your Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, probably to a degree, David Letterman. And you see that I might be... Oh, I forgot somebody, but I'll go back to him in a second. I kind of tend towards like more, I guess, smart-ass kind of comedians. Those of you who know me pretty well or are getting to know me, I've probably seen that. I could be a little bit of a smart-ass. Getting a little dark out here. I was going to do 2 miles tonight, but I think I'm going to keep it at 1. But let's talk about another favorite of mine. When I got all excited a second ago, it's because I was thinking of him. How's that shot? Any better? I want to get a walking stick like Lisa has. I don't know if you've seen her videos yet. Go to LM Stoll here on YouTube. She has what, I'm turning it back around this way. It's called a selfie stick. It's a catchy little name there, isn't it? And the deal with that is that it's just for what it sounds like. People can take selfie photographs or videos of themselves holding this lightweight stick. Lisa's got a pink one. And Lisa did it in her video the other night, and it was pretty awesome. Kind of got off track there. Anyway, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite comedians, my favorite comic actors, and comic writers ever. And that's Groucho Marx. Now, I don't know how much younger people pay attention to Groucho now. When I was a kid, and I think I first discovered Groucho and the Marx Brothers when I was around 10 years old. Because, let's face it, TV was a lot different then. Especially like in the area I grew up in, we watched the TV stations out of Philadelphia. And every Saturday or Sunday afternoon, they would have like pretty much the same thing. You had your Abbott and Costello movies, Marx Brothers, things like that. And I got addicted to the Marx Brothers. And Groucho in particular. So funny. And I've read some of Groucho's books, and I would go and watch some of his other things that he did solo, like his talk show that he had, You Bet Your Life. And from what I understand, probably not the nicest man in the world, like off of the camera. But reading his books, his autobiographies that he wrote, and watching the movies, to me, that man was a comic genius. And I'd say Groucho was definitely an influence on my sense of humor. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about right now? I knew I wanted to talk about idiot drivers. And I just got into like the whole fire lane thing there. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff with them. I also hate when people get into a right turn lane when they're not supposed to. No, let me change that, before the right turn lane. Because you can get a ticket for that shit. And it pisses me off when I'm driving and I'm following the laws, right? You can follow me so far? I'm following the laws and I wait to get up to the right spot to hop into that turn lane. And I can't get in there because some idiot decides to get into, boy, brain fart here. They wanted to get into the shoulder. They're into the shoulder of the road before the turn, like a mile before the turn lane. And I can't get over there, and I'm following the law. Okay? So all you people who do that, and I know I've done it once or twice before myself too when I'm in a rush, but we all need to stop that, okay? Stop that. Stop the fire lane thing. I don't care if you're in a rush to return your movie to Redbox or Netflix box or Blockbuster box or whatever the hell it's called this week. But, try to be nice to other people. Alright? So I'm just finishing up the mile mark here. I thank you for tuning in. Check out the other walkcasts. Start using that hashtag if you like these walking vlogs that people are doing, okay? Because a lot of cool people, cooler than me, more entertaining than me, have their walking shows, and they're a lot of fun. So check them out. Do walkcast, hashtag walkcast, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye. Really? How do I turn this off? Hey, there's my car. There's my car.